Alright guys, welcome back. This is day 16 of 30 80s metal riffs in 30 days. Today's a special one, probably my favorite metal band of all time, Savatage and the Hall of the Mountain King. Now this one is going to be a little tricky for those of you who don't have multiple guitars to do different tunings. I'm going to show you a way to do this in drop D tuning, but I'm also going to show you the faithful tuning, the way Savatage recorded this back in the day. Alright, so before that, make sure and check in the description box for the tab for this, so that you can make sure and answer any questions you might have about the fingering and stuff, as well as a free sweep picking guide, sweep picking boot camp. So make sure and check that out. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. We're on riff number 16. I'm doing 30 riffs the whole month of April 2021, so I've got 14 more to do. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff still coming, and if you haven't seen the ones before this, go back and check the first 15 out. All right, so this one is such a great song. My introduction to Savatage was actually a little bit earlier than that. I heard from a girlfriend in high school. I heard a little mixtape of Savatage and Metal Church. So I was hip to some songs on Power of the Night, Sirens, and some of the early stuff. But they really caught my attention when I saw the video for Hall of the Mountain King on Headbangers Ball. And I love that song, still love the song, love that album. So this is a classic riff, and I debated doing a different Savatage riff just for ease of tuning and things like that. And I said, no, we gotta have this one in there. So also the solo, I actually did a lesson on this intro solo for Hall of the Mountain King, so you can look for that on my YouTube channel if you haven't seen that already. I'm not going to teach that here because that would take too long. And we're here for the riffs. So this is going to be all about the main riff to Hall of the Mountain King. So let's get cracking. I want to talk about the tuning. This is tuned down, the original version. The whole guitar is tuned down a whole step. So you'd be in D standard tuning, okay? From that point, you then lower your low 6th string another whole step. So you end up having a C. You'd be in D standard, but your lowest 6th string would be a C. Now, I'll make this easy for you to relate to this. It's exactly like being in drop D tuning, except for your whole guitar is tuned down a whole step. So if you're familiar with drop D tuning, where you just drop the low string to a D and leave the rest in standard tuning, it's the same thing, except you're going to go down a whole step with your guitar. Now I realize a lot of people don't have an extra guitar or multiple guitars to keep in different tunings, and even if you did, you might not want to tune all the way down to that. So what I'm doing is I'm using this, what's called a drop tune pedal. This one is by Digitech, and what it's done is it's allowed me to drop this guitar, which is in drop D tuning, down a whole step. I can go farther than that too. The sound quality does start to deteriorate a little bit, so I apologize for that, but it's still pretty good, and we can get what we need to get. So if I turn this off, well, let me play just my. Here's what it sounds like. That's with the pedal on. So now I'm drop C tuning here, or not drop C, but I'm drop D tuning down a whole step. Okay, now if I turn this off, I'm back to just regular drop D. Okay, so this is one way to get around some of these tunings. Let's get you this cool little, I think it's just called drop from Digitech. It's a really nice pedal for things like this. Okay, so that's what we're tuned to here, and it's a pretty simple riff. We're gonna play on the A string. We're gonna play open, and then 3 and 5, and then we're gonna bounce off of the low string. Notice the articulation of the notes. There's like a little mute on that 3. So it's open 3, 5, and then 2 low string, back to 5, 2 on the low, and then 3, 5. Okay, then you're gonna go. So that is low string, and then the notes are 6, D, 5, 3, all on the D, 3 on the A string. Okay, so that's the line coming down. So I'll show you a little bit. This is the verse riff. Now Criss Oliva, one of my favorite guitar players of all time, rest in peace, is really notorious for doing these little octave slides within his rhythm playing and making it a really cool part of the riff, and that's what's going on here. It's first, that's just a 6th fret, 5th fret power chord on the A string. And then from 6 to 8, you're going to play an octave. I'm playing 6 on the A, 8 D, muting the D string. I'm sorry, 6 on the A, 8 G, mute the D string with the underside of your index finger, and then play and slide that up to 8. Notice the slide. Slide that up to 8. 8A, 10 G, mute the D string. That's just C5 power chord, but again with our tuning it sounds different. Just the same stuff, but in a different order. Then it goes up to the 10th fret. Okay, so there's a little bonus for you there. So let me do the main riff one more time. Alright, and that's Hall of the Mountain King. We're on day 16. 30 riffs, 30 80s metal riffs in 30 days. Tomorrow will be day 17. Make sure and grab the tab down below, as well as my free sweet picking guide. and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Rock on.